You're supposed to be confused by this real estate market. That's why I wrote The Illusion. It's confusing. And the reason that it's so confusing is that most markets right now are going through price discovery. So let's look at what that is. The buyer's expectation dropped off significantly about 6 months ago of where the market was going. And there was a split between the seller's expectation of what prices were at and the buyer's expectation of price was at. Sales completely shut off for a little bit. While that was going on, it seemed like nothing was happening. But what was actually happening is something called price discovery. Because when you took a look at it, at one point, 60% of the market was not selling, but there were still sales happening. The problem was the sales were happening down here for sellers that needed to sell and were matching buyers' expectation. Slowly, as the markets start to congeal, you start seeing that buyers' expectations are coming up, and if you track where things are selling for, it's starting to kind of catch up. At the same time, the sellers are starting to figure this out, and you're starting to see these price drops happen as these sales are starting to happen. The closer these come together, the more you're starting to see sales, and that's why as we got into the summer, you started noticing a lot more sales were happening, but they were happening at a different price point. Now, not the entire market has caught on, and this is what I call the illusion. You're still gonna see a lot of properties that are overpriced that are just sitting and aren't selling because they're still holding on to last year's pricing. But there's a ton of buyers that have been waiting for value to hit, and they're coming up, and these sales are starting to come together. Once we get to this point and buyer and seller expectation meets again, we've completed price discovery and sales are gonna normalize, but we still have a little bit to go through. And that's why a lot of the educated sellers right now that are pricing really aggressively are getting those multiple offers because these buyers never left. They just didn't want to pay last year's prices.